Good morning. Thank you for being here. We have been out since about 4:30 this morning. The great men and women of law enforcement have been working on this operation for days and days, and probably weeks. Early this morning, one of the top leaders of MS-13 was apprehended. He was the leader for the East Coast, one of the top 3 in the entire country. Right here in Virginia, living half an hour outside of Washington, D.C. He is an illegal alien from El Salvador, and he will not be living in our country much longer.
This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. And we're going to continue to let good cops be cops across this country. President Trump gave us the executive decision to go after and safeguard our communities.
Breaking news this morning out of Virginia. Federal and state law enforcement officials have confirmed the arrest of a high-ranking MS-13 gang leader, described as one of the top 3 in the United States. Authorities say he was living just 30 minutes from Washington, D.C., in a quiet Virginia suburb. Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel announced a major arrest during a press conference today, alongside Virginia Governor Glenn Younkin. Officials say the operation began around 4:30 a.m. and resulted in the capture of an MS-13 figure believed to have overseen the gang's East Coast operations. The suspect, an undocumented immigrant from El Salvador, is currently in custody and, according to officials, will soon be removed from the country. This was a joint effort. Bondi said, "No egos, just a team focused on one mission, keeping America safe." The arrest is part of a broader crackdown initiated under President Trump's directive to dismantle violent transnational gangs operating within U.S. borders. Law enforcement agencies from federal, state, and local levels collaborated through a task force formed just weeks ago. In just under a month, the task force has identified 575 criminal targets and arrested 342 individuals across Northern Virginia. Of those, 81 suspects are linked to gangs like MS-13 and other transnational criminal organizations. Governor Younkin emphasized that the effort reflects a new model of cooperation between different layers of government, crediting a federal program known as 287G for empowering local authorities to assist in immigration enforcement. The governor also made a pointed statement about so-called sanctuary cities, criticizing jurisdictions that don't cooperate with immigration enforcement. "You're working against public safety," he said, noting that this major arrest took place in one of the most family-friendly areas of the state. U.S. Attorney highlighted the intelligence-driven nature of the task force, calling it the first of its kind in the country. Since March 3rd, officials have filed over 70 federal charges and executed dozens of search warrants. Kash Patel, now serving as FBI director, praised the unified front, saying this operation is proof of what happens when law enforcement is empowered to do their jobs without political interference. He called MS-13 and similar gangs domestic terrorists, and warned that this is just the beginning. Officials hinted that the Virginia model could be replicated in other states. Both Governor Younkin and General Bondi extended an open invitation to governors nationwide to observe the task force in action and apply the strategy in their own jurisdictions. To date, over 340 suspected violent criminals have been taken off the streets through this task force. Officials say this momentum will continue, and they're calling it a turning point in the fight against gang violence and border-related crime. For more updates on this developing story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.